Hey, what's up, guys? It's Ben and Bryan show. We're coming at you with our NFL weekly pick'ems. Starting off with week one, obviously. Obviously. So this season's a little bit different, obviously. Another little obviously at you. With this COVID bullshit going on, it's put a lot of hampering on the preseason action by completely eliminating it. So they had extended training camps, practices, not much, uh, not much contact against other teams. Like sometimes training camps they practice with other teams. Sometimes none of that happened. So this year is going to be a lot harder to decide week one who's going to win. I feel Bryan, I think feels the same way too, and I'm sure a lot of you do too. It's going to be harder to figure out who's going to be the dark horse right off the bat. I mean, usually it is hard anyways, but it's even harder because we don't have any background to go off of with the preseason. A lot of trades happen, a lot of pickups, a lot of shit just happened in the past couple of weeks with guys getting big ass contracts, guys getting released, guys signing the new teams. So we're gonna start off doing our pick 'em. Obviously, Thursday night, the first game, and we're gonna go in the time order and date it comes in. Thursday night football, Sunday night, all the noon games, followed by the 3 o'clock and 4, and then Sunday night, and then also Monday night, 2 games. If we say a time, it is Central. This is our time zone. And whatever the fuck your fucking time zone is, you fucking figure it out, bud. All right, so we're going to kick off this whack-ass season with the first game. And it is the Houston Texans at the Kansas City Chiefs in Arrowhead. I'm going to go ahead and go first. I'm going to give my pick 'em. And I decided to go with the Chiefs. I feel like a lot of games for the first game of the season are pretty low scoring. They get a lot of feeling out to do. So I'm going to predict this to be a low scoring opener. But the Chiefs still winning. And I'm going to give this a 14-3.
That's interesting. Yeah, I'm kind of in the same boat as you. I mean, this season's going to be one to pretty much remember because it's something that we've never experienced before as football fans. Preseason, you pretty much get a lot of information and kind of figure out what the team could possibly do during the regular season, at least during the third week of preseason. You're pretty much. I'm also going with the Kansas City Chiefs over the Texans. Like Ben said earlier, the season is going to be so freaking weird this year. We have no idea how these teams are going to be, or they're going to perform this season with lack of freaking practice tape or whatever, and preseason or whatever. So I got the Chiefs winning 27-14 over the Texans. And I look for them to pretty much pick up where they left off, with the refs helping them win the Super Bowl. Back to you, Ben.
God damn, that's a high-ass scoring game for the first game of the season. But also I'm going to add a little bit on here. I want to touch base on some of the play. I feel like Clyde the Glide is going to get 60 yards and 1 touchdown. It's not going to be a high prediction of him to just come out and just bust out at the seams. It's going to take him a little bit to get acquainted to the NFL. But I feel like that 1 touchdown is going to boost confidence, and he'll be ready to take off the rest of the season. Any kind of bold predictions you're going to kind of make player-wise, player style-wise?
I think Mahomes will definitely probably have at least 2 touchdowns in this game. Travis Kelce will probably have a touchdown in probably red zone coverage or whatever, or in the red zone or whatever. Sorry. Um, the Texans are going to have a lot harder time this year scoring, I think, with Hopkins being off the team now. So, but I'd like to see David Johnson, possibly score a touchdown, just to kind of show, like the old Owl boy, he's definitely still got something left in the tank. So
I agree with that. I hope David Johnson does really well. But I think Patty Mahomes is going to throw for about 320 yards and 1 touchdown. It'll be a nice little blowout play. 1 big play to Tyreek, the usual. But they won't be able to get a whole lot off. It'll be a slow game for the most part. Okay, moving on to the second game, which is the Falcons and Seahawks. And it's Seattle is traveling to Atlanta. Basically, I'm going to go ahead and pick. I believe the Falcons are going to do the upset right off the bat. People are going to think, well, Seahawks going to be the team of the past. And yes, they will. I mean, it's just one little hiccup at the start. It's going to throw everybody off. I know, like last year and other times, I've always like, all right, Seahawks aren't going to be as good. And somehow they fucking pick up at the end of the season and they're in the fight. And they just – but I feel like Matty Ice is going to find his groove again. They're going to be better this year. It was their season last year was such a huge disappointment. It's kind of odd to see with all the weapons they have. But I feel like they're ready to fight. Julio's going to make a lot of breakaway, a lot of catches. Calvin Ridley is going to get some red zone targets. And Todd Gurley is going to do pretty decent this game. But I don't foresee him doing spectacular throughout this season.
what was your prediction?
Falcons. Score-wise? I'm going to give that one 20-13 Falcons.
Wow. I mean, that's bold. I mean, I'm just looking at a standpoint of all the offseason pickups that the Seahawks acquired. I can't go against the Seahawks. I don't know. The Falcons, they're good on paper, but to me, I think it's going to take them like it did last season. They didn't start getting really decent until midway through the season, and by that time, the games were pretty much meaningless because they were so far out of playoff contention at that point. I mean, how they beat did they beat your 49ers? I can't remember.
Yeah, they beat it. They beat us by a little bit. I mean, it was like, I don't know. I wasn't too worried about it. They're actually a good team, and that's why I said it was odd to see them so crappy last year. Really, basically, they weren't the Falcons.
And then like how like you said, last year's our very first podcast or whatever that we did, that Matt Ryan was pretty much gonna be like one of the number one quarterbacks last season, and he just, like you said, it was one of those weird things where he just kind of fell off. But he picked it up towards the end of the season last year. But like I said, it was in meaningless games. But for me, I can't go against Russell Wilson as much as you hate the Seahawks, and I don't really care for them either. I just think that they have the upper advantage on their opponent in this for week one wise. So I'm going with the Seahawks 24-21 in a close game.
All right, nice. So the next game, we're going to go ahead and go with the Jets at the Bills in Orchard Glen Park. I believe the Bills' defense is going to be much improved this season, even though they were pretty good last season. I think they're gelling more together. They picked up the right pieces where they needed them. Um, I feel like the Bills are going to win. Obviously, the Jets are a lackluster team with a very, very lackluster head coach. As we've said before, I think Adam Gase sucks. He's terrible. The Jets should be mediocre at best this season, but the Bills are going to pull it away. And I'm going to give it kind of another non-high scoring game, really. I'm going to give this one 17-7 Bills.
That sounds good. Yeah, like you said, it's a lackluster coach, Adam Gase. He basically, Jamal Adams, one of the best defensive players last year, that had basically just had like a disagreement with each other. And Adam Gase, like anybody that goes against him, he gets rid of them. Like he's the dumbest coach I've ever fucking seen in my life. I don't know how Jets fans can still fucking sit there and defend the guy when he's destroying your fucking team like he did my Dolphins 2 years ago. I mean, the guy is not good. His whole career was on the back of Peyton Manning, and Peyton Manning ran that fucking offense. Fucking Adam Gase had nothing to do with how well that they did during the season. So to call him the so-called quote unquote quarterback whisperer is bullshit. The dude fucking sucks. He's a terrible coach. But to get to the score, I got the Bills winning 21-3 over the Jets. Fuck the Jets.
Nice. Yeah, I can see that. Definitely the Jets are going to be. Oh, also, guys, I just want to touch base on this quick while I remembered it. We a couple months ago we did Vegas odds. So with the weird thing, we were still at that point. I think we were only down 2 preseason games. Then we had none. COVID kept going on. We were not aware of what was going on. A lot of more trades happened, a lot of more pickups, no preseason. So, I mean, I think after our weekly pick'ems, it might be slightly different from what our Vegas odds were, or over and under on some of the teams. Might be slightly changed only because you kind of figure it was going to anyways with preseason with injuries. I'm pretty sure I said that a lot in that podcast. It depends on who gets injured or what. A quarterback goes down, that could fuck a season up. But it might be slightly skewed from our Vegas odds, but it shouldn't be too far off from those. But I'll just go ahead and get on to this next pick'em game, which is the Chicago Bears at the Detroit Lions. Now, the Bears, Monster D. But like Bryan had said before, and I agree with him, and I've said it to other people out and about, defense can't just take everything on their back. They can't score all the touchdowns and stop all the scoring on the other team, when you're on the field all the time. The fucking Bears decided to go with Trubisky again at the start after signing Foles to that deal. I really thought Foles was going to beat him out right away. I don't know. I think David Montgomery is going to have a better season this season, but Matty Stafford is back. We don't know what Matty Stafford's coming back because of the back injury, but I still think that the Lions are going to take week 1 at their home stadium. And I'm going to go ahead and probably give this one a 23-10 Lions.
Wow. We're on the same boat on that one too. Like Like I think they're gonna wear the defense down in the first three quarters by running the ball, protecting Matthew Stafford as much as they can during the game. They got Adrian Peterson now on the team. Not much of a, it's not like a huge deal that he's on the team. He's getting up there in age, but he can still go. He can still move the ball when they need him to.
I mean, if he was like he was in Washington, he wasn't half bad at all, really. So
No, he wasn't. And then they got Swift on their team now, the rookie. So I think 1-2 punch or whatever should be pretty decent. Had Nick Foles started for the Bears, I think my pick would be different. I think I would probably lean more towards the Bears just because I think he gives them a better opportunity to win. But it's a lot of times, too, Nagy is just not a very good coach, too. He's kind of like an Adam Gase. Like, he makes a lot of dumb decisions. With the running back situation with Montgomery, like, he used him, like, very poorly last season. He would, make maybe like 3 or 4 touches a game sometimes, which didn't make any sense. How are you going to get a decent amount of runs for a player when you're not using them? So I just think, personally, I think that the Lions are going to come out and they're going to – I mean, who knows? Matt Stafford could just come out and just fucking start rocketing them and score touchdown after touchdown, but it all depends because the Lions' defense got pretty decent, too, over this last offseason and draft, too. So they're both pretty equal on that standpoint. But I got the Lions 21-17 over the Bears.
all right. Our next game is going to be kind of a tale. I feel it's going to be a tale for the rest of the season on this team. It's going to be the Cleveland Browns at the Baltimore Ravens. Now, this is a division game. A lot of divisional games sometimes can be close, sometimes blowouts. As I've said before, I'm not very high on the Browns because of Baker Mayfield. I think he's trash. But their defense, the Browns' defense is good, and they have a great surrounding cast around Mayfield. If they just get rid of that fucking guy, I think they would be a hell of a lot better. But the hype around Lamar Jackson, is he going to come back the way he did last season and just run all over people's throats? I don't think so. And I think this is going to be the first game that gives a tell, especially since they're a divisional rivalry. And the Browns have a pretty decent defense. And I think they're going to show the league how to kind of deter Jackson's runs. But, of course, that's not going to hamper them too much as they got Ingram and J.K. Dobbins in the backfield. So I'm going to give this one to the Ravens week 1. And this is actually going to be a pretty low scoring game. I'm going to go ahead and give this one a fucking 10-3 Ravens.
Wow. You got quite a few snoozers, or at least you think there are going to be some snoozer games this season starting out week 1. I'm going the same way with you. Like, I still think that the Ravens are going to be pretty decent this season. Baker Mayfield, I know I said in one of our podcasts that I think that he can probably, prove himself a little better this season, but it's all about attitude. Like, if he doesn't change his attitude, then they're never going to win. And his ability to play the quarterback position too. So they just signed an extension of 2 years for Hunt, their running back, which they didn't have him for 8 games last year. So that added, like, he didn't get the rhythm or whatever of the offense. Myles Garrett, I believe, is back, or is he suspended for the first couple games?
No, I think he's back the full season, I think.
Okay, because I wasn't 100% sure how his suspension went.
I don't remember either.
Because I thought it was like 7 games, but I thought that he did it like towards the end of the season. So I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong about that, but I don't know. The only thing that I can see happening, like, Brown fans hate the fucking Raven fans with a passion. because they know what could have been had they, left the Browns the way that they were, and instead of making them the Baltimore Ravens, they'd be a 2-time Super Bowl champions right now. But, so you got a lot of that bitterness. So fan-wise, it's a pretty good rivalry. It's not as good as the Ravens-Steelers rivalry, but for, when it comes to like, God damn it, you motherfuckers stole 2 Super Bowls from us kind of rivalry, that kind of hits home. So I think it'll be a little bit of a closer game than a lot of people think. I think it's going to be a back and forth game. Defense definitely is going to be the key in this game. So I'm going Ravens 23-21.
The next game is another division rival, and that is between the Green Bay Packers traveling to U.S. Bank Stadium in Minneapolis with the Minnesota Vikings. This game, we had a lot of off-field kind of change-up. I mean, with the draft, and could have put a hamper on things. We don't know. Aaron Rodgers, we could see him potentially being shoved out the door with Jordan Love. Obviously, week 1, A-Rod starts. And I, like many other people, feel like there's going to be a fire lit under A-Rod's ass saying, hey, you're not fucking getting rid of me that easy. I'm going to play well. And I feel like the Packers are going to fire all cylinders. Also, the fact that the Vikings have a very depleted secondary. I think A-Rod just picks them apart week 1. Aaron Jones gets a lot of passes in the backfield. I'm going to give this one a 30-17. Green Bay takes the W in Minneapolis.
Wow. Honestly, God, didn't see that one coming. Did Cook sign his agreement, or is he still holding out for the Vikings?
He didn't sign his agreement, but supposedly he's still going to play, though. So,
okay. So, with me knowing that now, I honestly think that Aaron Rodgers will probably have a lot more of a tougher season this year, being that they did not address the offense at all in the draft. It was strictly.
Oh yeah, I do agree there. Yep, it's true.
He doesn't have the weapons like he would in previous years. He's going to have to do a lot more with less. So he's almost. I mean, it's kind of a weird thing to say this, but he's almost in the same situation that Tom Brady was last year, where he didn't have no help, and I think he will still have a pretty decent season.
I mean, he's got a slightly better situation than TB had, but
yeah,
with A-Rod and Devontae Adams.
Yeah, but when you're double covering Devontae Adams, who else you got?
Yeah, I mean, I agree with you there. I think it'll be kind of a struggle this year, but I do think A-Rod will take off.
Look, I agree. A-Rod is by far one of the better quarterbacks in the league. He can't handle that 49ers defense at all. You've seen that happen in the playoffs. But he always seems to come out and shine against the Vikings. Maybe not when Brett Favre played for the Vikings is about the only time he really struggled with the Vikings. But I think Kirk Cousins is going to have that. Do you like that fucking game? And I think he's going to come out and score a shit ton of points against that Packers depleted defense, secondary too. And I think it's going to be like a 27-21 type game for the Vikings, and they're going to win.
Also, I guess to touch base with the Vikings this season, Adam Thielen is definitely going to be the number 1 receiver. Obviously, Stephon Diggs is out the door. But I think you're going to start seeing a spark out of Justin Jefferson becoming a solid wide receiver too who is going to potentially take off his sophomore season and beyond. I kind of think mid-season he's going to start taking off and getting a lot more receptions because of the fact that as a wide receiver one, Thielen's going to be double, triple team during games. And really they have Rudolph as the other option as tight end. And I don't think Rudolph, he's not near the tight end he used to be.
That's a good point. That it's going to be tough. It's going to be a different season, man. This is, like I said before, like this is going to be something that we're not expecting. Like high hopes wise, I mean, all the teams that probably like ended the season on high notes last year could come out and shit the bed. Like we don't know. It's so fucking up and down every season. It's so hard to predict. If doing pick'ems was easy, everyone would fucking do it.
Yeah. We just want to give our pick'ems right now. Obviously, it's hard to be confident that this is like the expert advice to give you. This is just our opinions right now. It's hard. I mean, it's obviously going to always be our opinions, but you know what I mean. It's going to be hard. It's harder right now because of the situation we're in. But on that note, we're going to move past that shit. And the next game is Indianapolis Colts traveling to Jacksonville to take on the Jaguars. What can we say? Everybody knows now it's pretty much a tank. They're not going to out and say that they're tanking. Most teams don't do that. Most players don't want to tank either because they want to show good tape so they can get potential big signings with either the Jags that they're with now or it's somebody else. I think it's pretty much a given that they're tanking for the fact that they just now got rid of Fournette. They traded off Ngakoue. They still have pretty good couple good players on defense, but it's just not going to be enough because that secondary is really out. The Colts getting in the new man with Philly Rivers, a huge upgrade, I feel like, from Jacoby Brissett. They got a solid-ass O-line. Jonathan Taylor could potentially take off if he, like I said in the rookie podcast, if he learns ball control, he could potentially break out and be a good, solid running back and be the starter. But right now, it's might be between him, Marlon Mack, and Naeem Hines of how much they're going to split the load. T.Y. Hilton, I think now that he's got Phillip Rivers, might be back into his old form when he had Andrew Luck. And then Paris Campbell, I think, is going to have a better sophomore season than he did last season. And then they also picked up Michael Pittman Jr. Also, the defense bolstered up with my man Defoe. And I think they kind of flying under the radar. I don't know if anybody's high up on the Colts defense, but they got some solid fucking guys. If nobody doesn't think that they're going to be a top 10 defense, you're crazy after seeing what they have. So with that, it's going to be pretty much a fucking blowout, I feel. The Colts are going to take this shit 34-3.
Yeah, I'm on the same line with you. Jaguars are obviously, like you said, they're tanking. And like you said, they don't want to call it tanking because then they're going to get investigated like the Dolphins were last year, which is fucking bullshit because the Bengals have been tanking for fucking 30 fucking years. And the Browns, too. And those motherfuckers never get fucking investigated. Only the fucking Dolphins because we wanted fucking Tua. And, they're fucking doing it on purpose. Yeah, bullshit. Fuck off, motherfuckers. But the thing is, with the whole fucking tanking situations, players don't want to tank because they're still putting in that fucking effort. They're still getting injured. They're still kicking, getting themselves beat up for nothing. Like, I just don't see it. I don't feel personally that teams purposely fucking do it. I just think that the owners and management put them in a position to where there's no fucking way in hell that they could win even if they fucking tried their hardest. So, with that being said, Phillip Rivers, huge improvement. Marlon Mack, fucking Taylor is going to be fucking decent. T.Y. Hilton, I honestly think that he's going to be probably one of the best receivers in the AFC this year. And, just the fact that I think the Colts are going to be I think I'm picking them to win that division. A lot of people are like, oh, the Titans, they're going to be unstoppable. They have fucking Ryan Tannehill as their quarterback. Trust me, as a Dolphins fan, I know what it feels like to get fucking that hope up and get fucking shit on for 5 fucking years. Tannehill is not the fucking answer for that team. I'm telling you right now. You're going to regret fucking signing him to that huge contract because he's a game manager. He cannot fucking – when you make him play quarterback, he folds like fucking LeBron James on a fucking NBA championship game when he's flopping to the fucking referee. 2 different analogies, but still, Ryan Tannehill is not that fucking great. And I know a lot of my fucking Dolphin friends are going to be like, fuck you, dude. How the hell you could say that about your own fucking quarterback? He's not my quarterback anymore. I can say all the shit I want to about him. He sucked when he was a Dolphin, and he sucks after he's a fucking Dolphin. So, Colts are going to win that fucking division. I'm going 36 to fucking 7.
See, I mean, yeah, to touch base on what you said, I do agree in the final. Colts winning that division definitely. I can't say definitely. I think it'll be pretty close with the Titans. I think they're both playoff contenders, but I think the Colts are going to end up winning the division. So, moving on now to the next game. That is with the newly coined Las Vegas Raiders traveling all the way out to North Carolina to take on the Carolina Panthers. Basically, they got a new coach. They're still under rebuild now. They're not going to do so hot. They could possibly also be tanking for Trevor too. But guess who probably isn't going to know that? Christian McCaffrey. Dude's a fucking stud. He's going to be a stud for a while until they fucking run his legs out because they're just going to overuse him. But, yeah. See, I'm not really high up on the Raiders. Me and Bryan aren't high up on the Raiders much, and we've said it before in other podcasts. I feel like they're just going to be struggling to maintain 3rd or 4th place in the AFC West. But that being said, the traveling out to play the Panthers in a rebuild is basically not a fucking team, really. I think handily the Raiders are going to win this one 20-6. I feel like you're going to see pretty decent plays out of Henry Ruggs. He's going to end up being wide receiver 1 out there only because Tyrell Williams was kind of a mediocre receiver last year, but he's fucking done for the year. Renfro ain't bad, but I just don't see him with the potential to be wide receiver 1. But Josh Jacobs, another 1,000-yard campaign with him. I think he's a pretty good fucking running back. That was probably one of the better choices that they've made. And, yeah, Raiders.
Yeah, that's it's a pretty good pick. Also, with the departure of Luke Kuechly this offseason, or before actually, or it was during the offseason, yeah. He announced his retirement because he had too many concussions and stuff. So that's a key defensive player that they lost also. So I just, like Teddy Two Gloves, he's decent, but, last year didn't really prove what kind of a quarterback he was, because you could literally put Ben or I back at quarterback and probably do the same amount of fucking damage to teams like he did when Drew Brees was injured last year. So
yeah, all you have to do is do this. Throw it up. Oh, Michael Thomas got it.
Yeah, throw it in the vicinity of Michael Thomas and he's going to catch it. Or just hand it off to Kamara and fucking off he goes. So I don't know. I don't know. Like Raiders are so hit and miss. It's just like with Derek Carr. What week before Marcus Mariota comes in as their fucking starter?
He got torn pectoral. He might be done for the season.
Oh no shit! I didn't hear about that. So I guess there was that idea.
He's on IR.
So they're stuck with Carr then. So well,
Yep.
then don't look for. They're probably going to be fighting for last place with the Chargers this year. In that loss. So I did not know about that. My apologies. So, but anyways, I got the Raiders winning this by, I would say 2 touchdowns. So let's go 14-0.
Yeah, I mean the Raiders actually got one of their good rookie secondaries coming back. He was a hard hitter. They're not bad on defense. They're not great either. With that being said, McCaffrey is going to torch up that defense of the Raiders, and he's going to get at least 250 all-purpose yards. But it's going to fall short. They're still not going to win.
You think he's going to get 250 yards in that game alone?
All-purpose yards, yes. Between rushing, and passing yards.
That's going to suck because they're going to use him up in the first few games. And I guarantee you by week 8, if hopefully, God forbid, if we make it that far before they fucking cancel the season like they are with all the fucking college games, he'll eventually get mysteriously injured and end up on IR at some point in the season. One, they're going to run the shit out of him, and he's probably going to get hurt that way. Or they're just going to say, you know what, you got an injury now. You're gonna lay down, sit down. We got to get Trevor Lawrence in here. So,
all right. So we're gonna move on to this next game, and it is this guy across from me's team, Miami, traveling all the way up to Foxborough to play the New England Patriots Week 1. Well, start this off. It's going to be weird. We don't know what's going to come out with Cam Newton, how well he's going to take up to the system in New England. With that being said, I think we've kind of said before, Bill Belichick could fucking win with a grocery bagger at a fucking Costco and just fucking beat teams. He could find a way to win. They lost a couple people on the defense, not too bad off. I think their defense is still pretty solid. Don't know much with Cam. Julian Edelman's not bad, but I don't think he's that great. But with that being said, I am going to go ahead and take New England at home. Even though we've seen last season with Miami unseating them in their home, but not this year. I'm going to give it to New England, and I'm going to give it a 27-13. You're going to see the Dolphins trying to figure out where they're going to be. They're kind of still in the rebuild mode. I've said it before, they made great fucking defensive pickups. But we're going to see what Breida and Howard, however they're going to decide to use them. Fitzmatch is good for 4 games, then he duds out. But with that being said, they're going to have to find the rhythm. And they're eventually going to be around 500 at the end of the season. Close to 500, but they have to figure things out, and they won't right away in week 1.
Absolutely blasphemous, Ben, you cocksucker. No way in hell is Cam Newton, because first off, Cam Newton, when asked how was the system, like what was the playbook, like he's like, I have no clue. Like he is so confused on what to run. Like Cam Newton is definitely not the Cam Newton that won the MVP.
I mean, let's face it. You don't have to know it in Bill Belichick's system, man.
Yeah, but
You say it
Cam,
yourself 1,000 times over that Brady was the system QB. So you can't backtrack now and say Cam
I'm
Newton.
just saying personally though, like Cam Newton isn't your typical quarterback. He's a run first, throw second type quarterback. So like we just have to watch for the play action pass a lot during the game. Our defense definitely improved. Our offense definitely improved. Um, I'm actually going with the Dolphins winning in this one because I think that momentum is going to carry us over from last year to this year. Got another year with Brian Flores at the helm. Fitzpatrick will be the starter. I think with our weapons and everybody being healthy wise or whatever, because I think the Patriots they just lost that Sanu or whatever, like they released him, so they're down. Like they don't hardly have any target.
Well, they released him. He was a dud in New England, so it didn't
I
hurt him any.
understand that, but I'm just saying like they're losing, positional players left and right on offense. So I know we lost Hearns. He opted out. I think we lost what's his nuts? You think of it now. Um, Another one of our receivers opted out too. But next man in. That's our motto. So I got the Dolphins winning 24-21 in a close game, and at Foxborough. I just think that's the one game that we always play really well against. We sometimes shit the bed, sometimes we come out and kick their ass. Uh, just depends on how coach fucking coached up the team in the off season, and we'll go from there. I'm hoping we win, but it would not surprise me if we lose because as a Dolphins fan, I always expect the worst and get surprised by miracle win every once in a while. So
That's a surprising ass bold pick of you, the knowing that your guys' current condition is to say that they're going to come out swinging and winning right away. But I mean, I just they're going to be on an uphill. I think they got to figure shit out, but I think they'll be
and
better
it's
than
not
they were last season.
yeah, it's not me just being a homer fucking Dolphins fan. A lot of experts have even said, I mean, of course you take that with a grain of salt for whatever it is. A lot of experts even said, like the Dolphins are definitely going to be the team to watch this season, based on a lot of their offensive, pickups in the draft and everything. So I know we probably won't see Tua Tagovailoa until probably middle of the season, if not towards the end of the season, depending on how bad Fitzpatrick does.
You're going to see him for a brief stint because Fitzmagic is going to dead out probably by week 4. Tua coming in week 5 and getting crushed by the Niners fucking defense.
I don't see them pushing him too hard this early in his season because I think they're going to give him at least a year under his belt, kind of do like how the Chiefs did with Alex Smith and Mahomes, and bring him in after a year. Like let him play like towards the end of the season or whatever for a few games just to get it under his belt and then go from there. So like I don't have any expectations for them to be a playoff team this year. I mean, they would shock the shit out of me if they are. I got them at maybe a 8-win season, like you said, 500. So, sky's the limit. That's all I can say right now. But I want to talk about my team all night long. So let's move on to the next one.
Yeah, we know you would. The next game is the Philadelphia Eagles traveling to the Washington No-Name Skins. Basically, that's fucking quite the fucking off season. They had to fucking change their fucking name after so many years. They got to deal with that shit. Then they had to deal with Darius Geis choking a bitch out while fucking her. But then somehow it was an abuse thing. Weird. But basically, Dwayne Haskins, they thought he was doing kind of well towards the end of the season. but I don't think so. I don't think Dwayne Haskins is going to be that well of a player panning out. I think the story to look for is already starting to brew up. Was the fucking phenomenal return of Alex Smith. Speaking of Alex Smith, like he did before about the Chiefs, but phenomenal return, recovered and rehab from that fucking injury. I can't really say he's going to be in his old form. He might be kind of scared to take another hit. Well, rightfully so. He almost fucking died from that injury. That's how serious it ended up being. But a remarkable recovery. I do see him potentially progressing and battling it out with Haskins. It's going to be a lot of talk about putting Smith back in. Whether they do or not remains to be seen, but I feel like it's going to be a lot of talk in that area. But Washington, really, they're not really known much about what they're going to do with the run game. They cut out Peterson. Is Ricky Bryce Love going to end up winning the running back room as one? Terry McLaurin is not a bad receiver. I think he turned out pretty well last season. But, I mean, Haskins, I just don't see them actually standing much of a chance against Philadelphia. Philadelphia's going to come in hard swinging, kicking things off right away. Miles Sanders is going to have a great game this season opener. I'm going to have to go ahead and give the Eagles a 28-6 win over the no-name Skins.
Say what you will, they will always be the Washington Redskins. I will never, ever bow down to the political correctness people ever when it comes to sports or anything. Because it's been that way for years and years before I was even born. It's my dad's favorite team. So fuck them if they can't take a joke. It's always going to be the Washington Redskins. With that being said, I got the Eagles winning this one pretty decisively. I just don't think that the Redskins are going to be that team that they were a few years ago. It is freaking awesome though that Alex Smith made the roster. He made the team, so that in itself is a win for the Redskins to begin with, because that documentary, like I was like my eyes were sweating like crazy because it was just like, you could tell the pain the guy went through and the fact that he almost died and they were almost ready to cut it off. Like, dude's like, inspirational. And he's an inspiration to a lot of people. So, unfortunately, I don't think he's going to play this year unless Hawkins goes down with an injury. I think that'd be the only way he'd come in. But as far as the starter goes anymore, I don't think Alex Smith is going to be the starter anymore this coming up season or future seasons. So, but I got the Eagles winning 24-10 over the Redskins. Back to you, Benjamin.
Don't ever fucking call me that, bud. All right. We got the Los Angeles sharing the stadium Chargers going all the way out to the Midwest with the Cincinnati Bengals. So what can I say? We kind of expect the Bengals. Depends on how Joe Burrow comes out swinging. He's got a pretty good wide receiver core, actually. If AJ Green comes back to his old form and he says, fuck it, we got a new quarterback, Red Racket is fucking gone out of here, I'm going to back up my boy Burrow, fucking catch like a bad motherfucker that I was in the past, which I'm still holding on hopes that he does. Joe Mixon, for you guys that don't know, he's been dealing with migraines. He did sign an extension, but with the migraines, we don't know. I don't know if he's going to be potentially activated completely week 1. It seems to be going that way, that he's just questionable. But he is a good running back. He's pretty good rushing and pass catching in the backfield. Bengals got pretty solid. They got a pretty solid offense, I think. They're not bad. Good receiver core. Tyler Boyd, AJ Green. John Ross, if he could catch the fucking ball, he's fast as fuck. Their defense blows, by the way, so that's gonna hurt them a lot this season too, even if Burrow fucking turns it on. So I got the Chargers, by the way, winning. They have another, I feel like, is kind of an underrated defense. They have a lot of fucking good players. Although they did just lose Derwin James, I think, for the entire season, which is a bummer. But the fact that they have so many fucking other people, they're still going to be good. Melvin Ingram, Joey Bosa, Desmond King, fucking Hayward. Who else am I? I'm leaving out somebody else too. Anyways, just fucking trust me. Chargers defense ain't going to be nothing to fuck with. Offensively, Tyrod Taylor, he's not bad. He's not going to be that great of a quarterback either. But the fact that he's got Keenan Allen as the number 1 receiver, Keenan Allen's he's been going under the radar too. People have been fucking counting him out, and I have too. And it's not because I don't think Keenan Allen's good. I think it's the fact that they fucking lost Philly Rivers and they have Tyrod. I mean, he's not going to do too bad, but I don't think he's going to be great. And I don't know. And Eckler is going to be fucking shining. He's going to be shining. He's going to be a top 5 running back. I'm still holding on to that statement as I made my top 10 fantasy predictions. Chargers. And they win this one 21-14.
That sounds good. I was on the fence on this game. Had we discussed it earlier before we went on the Zoom. I ended up changing my pick. I did have the Bengals picked, but I think had Burrow if he was able to play a preseason this year, I think I would have probably leaned more towards the Bengals just because it's the season opener, home opener, and first round draft pick. A lot of pressure, but he has no real game experience. He just had to practice against you, like you said, that trash defense. So that's really nothing. Like he's not going to experience a bum rush like the Chargers defense has. So I think that's a deciding factor for me as why I switched it from the Bengals to the Chargers. Tyrod Taylor, he was decent, pretty good. He was pretty decent for the Bills over the last few years. He can win teams. He can win some games for teams or whatever, but I don't think he's definitely. I think by week 4 we'll see Justin Herbert at the starting position, but I don't know. It all depends. So I'm going to go the same score as you, 24-14. Or was it 21-14?
21-14.
Yeah, that's right.
The other person I forgot to mention is they actually just acquired in the offseason Chris fucking Harris, who's a solid cornerback. So Derwin James is a big hit, but I don't think it'll dampen him too much since they have so many good fucking people. And yeah, basically what Bryan was talking about, we had a conversation earlier, and basically he's like, we didn't have a whole lot on Joe Burrow. But then I went with, we don't know how well Tyrod's going to come out with the Chargers. And even if he doesn't even start, you got to do Herbert. I basically had to say that they're all kind of equal. So you got to count out the quarterbacks at this point because of you just don't know what to expect from any of them. So I ruled those guys out, and I thought about the surrounding cast. Eckler and Mixon, pretty well. I mean, they're pretty kind of equal-ish. I had the Eckler as the edge. I have Bengals, obviously, receiver core as the edge over Chargers. They just got Keenan Allen, a couple other guys that not as potentially as good as Tyler Boyd and AJ Green if he's back in his old form. But defensively, like I said, Chargers got a fucking solid defense. And that's going to be the major factor of why they beat Cincinnati week 1. All right, moving on now. We are going to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers are traveling to the Dome to take on the Saints. This year we see a fucking revamped Buccaneers, a whole entire different team. We got Tom Brady taking over the reins of Jameis Winston. You still got they're just adding people after adding people. This is their Super Bowl window. I feel like if they don't make it this year, I doubt they're going to keep all the players that they fucking picked up and signed because there's just going to be too many good guys. I think the Bucs make the playoffs, but like I said, they're going to be second in the division to the Saints because the Saints have a fucking loaded roster and they just got better in the offseason. They pick up good defense. It's hard to say that it'll be a shootout because we don't know how well Tom Brady's going to adapt to the Arian system right off the bat. I think they'll fucking eventually gel pretty decently. But I feel like the Saints are always going to be a fucking shootout. With Drew Brees at the fucking helm, and you have Michael Thomas, like we made a crack earlier about how fucking Teddy Two Gloves can look good by just tossing it like that. Thomas going to catch it. Drew Brees is an accurate-ass quarterback, and when you put that together with an outstanding receiver such as Michael Thomas and Emmanuel Sanders, I'm high up on. I wish we would have never fucking got rid of him. I wish we'd have kept him in our receiver core. He came in and he helped us out tremendously last season. Would we be as far as we did without him? I don't know. He had some great solid plays and he came in clutch. I like Emmanuel Sanders, and I think he's going to serve the Saints really well. With that being said, I think the Saints unload it right away, and they're going to be I'm going to have to go ahead and say it's a 38-17 Saints, and because of the fact that it's going to take a minute for Brady to keep working the system of the Brewster style offense, but they will come together close to around midseason. They're going to take off. I think they'll do good and obviously finish second, but still make the playoffs.
Yeah, that's interesting. Like Brady, like the way I feel about that guy. I think he's by far the most overrated, luckiest quarterback of all time. He can't throw fucking further than 5-yard slants, so he's got 2 deep ball fucking receivers on his team. They're going to be fucking wide open, and he's going to underthrow them by 30 fucking yards. So he's got maybe 1 or 2 fucking heaves for 40 yards, and then he's going to have to be on the fucking sideline icing his fucking shoulder because he's fucking damn near blew the fucking thing off his fucking shoulder blade or whatever, collarbone or whatever. Fucking dude's overrated as fuck. He'll be lucky to win, be second place in the division. Maybe. I think they're going to be fighting it out with the Falcons, to be honest with you. I think the Falcons are going to have a hell of a lot better season than the Buccaneers do. Everybody looks great on fucking paper. Yeah, they got fucking the running back from the Jaguars last year, this year now on their fucking team. But he's good for what, maybe 4 or 5 fucking games before he goes down with an injury. You got fucking Gronk. That's good for maybe 4 or 5 fucking games before he goes down with an injury. You got a 43-year-old fucking quarterback. You really think that he's going to win all these fucking games? This is going to be the prove it fucking season. If Brady fucking comes out and just like fucking destroys teams left and right, then I'll take back every fucking bad thing I've ever said about the guy. But the fact of the matter is that ain't going to fucking happen. So I know he's going to fucking suck balls because he is nothing without fucking Bill Belichick. So therefore, I'm going with my fucking final score is the Saints 43, the fucking Buccaneers 21. Final answer.
Crossing them arms. Fuck Tom Brady.
Fuck that motherfucker.
All right. Next game. The Arizona Cardinals will travel into my fucking team's home stadium. Season opener. Cardinals Niners. Week 1. Obviously, you're going to think I'm a homer, which I am really right now. Because of the fact that our fucking Super Bowl roster is almost pretty well intact. Minus Defoe. Kinlaw, heard a lot of good things about him from Trent Williams, saying that he's going to be possibly a Rookie of the Year candidate defensively. Sounds pretty good. Trent Williams is a solid fucking lineman that we picked up this offseason after he sat out from the Redskins. We picked him up. We're going to be running down the throats right away. I do think the Cardinals are much improved this year. Obviously, with a big fucking huge fucking signing extension for DeAndre Hopkins. 2-year extension at $54.5 million. They have Isaiah Simmons they picked up at the linebacker. He's kind of a hybrid linebacker. Sometimes he can go back to secondary coverage. What are you fucking babbling about? Shut the fuck up. Trying to talk. It's still recording. It's still fine.
I know you were trying to know that, but I'm saying like you were breaking up like crazy. Like
I did for a little bit there, yeah. But it got back under
I
control,
know,
and then you kept fucking rattling off.
You need to explain to them what you were talking about because I missed exactly what you said.
Look at you.
Motherfucker. Go. Talk, on.
Stop. All right, so I guess I have to fucking re-explain. I'm pretty sure only bits and pieces cut out on my end. But anyways, Arizona is going to be much better this year than they were last year. I said, obviously, they're not going to be able to dethrone the fucking Niners for the NFC West crown. They have possible potential to unseat the Seahawks for the second place. Obviously, they had a massive extension to DeAndre Hopkins. I didn't think that part cut out, but you probably heard Bryan's stupid fucking voice under it saying, blah, 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 blah. 2-year, $54.5 million extension. They're going to do the air raid shit. Kyler Murray's going to be bombing it out to Hopkins or Fitzmagic, which is Fitzgerald. They had both Fitz, and I went with that. Kind of redundant and unoriginal. Yeah, I know. Kenyon Drake, not a bad running back to have. But Niners coming out running down their throat. We're going to take the season opener at our home in Santa Clara Levi Stadium. And the score is going to be 34-25.
You also forgot to mention that Debo is back. He is healthy, and he is going to be starting week 1. And that's going to be a key factor, too, because he came out and he fucking lit it up last season for receiving-wise. Jimmy G, I think if he can get his shit together with his fucking interceptions and stuff, I think he's going to have a stout fucking season this year. Yeah, like you said, too, the running game is going to be fucking decent again this year. Your defense, by far is one of the better fucking defenses in the NFL. If it wasn't for the refs, you guys would be fucking 6-time champions right now. But we can't look at the past all the fucking time. We have to just move on to the future. So, with that staying, and you got George, the fucking Stone Cold George Kittle on your fucking team, you're automatically gonna fucking win. So I'm going with the 49ers. I'll say 32-17. I don't think that they're gonna move the ball on them as much. Even though Hopkins is gonna be really, really good this season, I don't think he's gonna come out right off the bat and fucking put up some really good numbers in his first week with a brand new team. You can only do so much shit in practice. It's a whole different animal when you're going up against an actual team that wants to rip your fucking.
I can see that, but I guess the point that I've kind of thought of, DeAndre Hopkins, solid, great receiver. I think the week one he will, because of the fact that I don't have a whole lot of faith in our secondary. I mean, Richard Sherman's not too shabby, but the rest of the guys, I don't know. Some of them show up, some easy pickings for DeAndre Hopkins to fucking just do people out of their cleats. Also touch base off of Kittle with a huge contract extension, and then we also had Jordan Reed. Wide receivers to look out for, Debo. Brandon Ayuk, I think, will be a good rookie. And look for Kendrick Bourne to have a better season than last season. And he did it pretty well last season. I was kind of shocked.
And I'm not dissing on the Cardinals at all. I do think that they're going to be fighting for the second position against the Seahawks. I just think that Kyler Murray, he's it's that run pass option fucking that really kind of gave you guys a lot of problems last year when you played against them. You won both games, but they were in those games with you, like from the beginning to end. It was close games the whole way through. So I think you guys have a year of film on Kyler Murray, and I think you guys could load the box and prevent him from fucking doing that in this game on Sunday. It's going to be interesting. I think Kyler Murray is going to be kind of like another the dude for the Ravens. I'm having a brain fart right now. Sorry, but
Lamar Jackson.
Yeah, Lamar Jackson. Yeah. I think that he's probably going to have the same kind of situation where teams are going to see the tape on him and they're going to be able to figure him out a lot more easier this season, and they're going to be able to prevent him from being able to do the whole freaking run pass option play on him. And I think both quarterbacks in that same situation, they're going to struggle this year. So,
also, I'm gonna say go ahead and look out for the NFC West and the NFC South to be the two best divisions in the NFL this season. And it's going to make it hard for the Niners. It's going to be a tough year to play the entire division twice. Not so worried about the Rams as I am Cardinals and the Seahawks. But Niners will win the division, mark my words, going back to the playoffs, and they win this game. So we will move on to, speaking of the other division guys, Dallas Cowboys will be taking on the Los Angeles Rams in LA. Basically, Cowboys made a kind of different pick. They got rid of Byron Jones, and I thought they would address that secondary right away in the draft. But the first round, they picked up CeeDee Lamb to make a pretty decent trio of receivers. When Amari Cooper ain't going to tier 1 defensive backs, if he isn't facing them, he's a pretty good receiver. But Ezekiel Elliott's going to be pretty good this year. Still, it's hard to not to be good when you have a fucking O-line that's consecutively known for being solid O-lines for years. Even in the 90s, taking Emmitt Smith to all of them. But that's the story for another day. Yeah. Well, with that being said, the Cowboys, I think, are gonna easily take the Rams out. We'll go ahead and say this is gonna be a 17-10 Cowboys. And I say easily, but it's statistical wise, it's gonna be dominant by the Cowboys that just aren't gonna put in the extra touchdowns to start off the week. Just because Elliott's got to try to run through fucking Aaron Donald. That dude's a fucking stud.
Yeah, that's a good point. But the Rams, offensive wise, I mean, they're really depleted. I mean, they have a okay running back right now, but I mean, they lost Todd Gurley. They have a
Cam Akers has the potential to could break out, but word on the street is he's getting beat out in practice by Darrell Henderson.
Didn't see that coming. I think Woods is still on their team, right?
Woods is still there. Cooper Kupp's still there. Tyler Higbee's still there. Golf is mediocre, but
yeah, Jared
I think that it's not.
That's the main line in the sand right there for me is Jared Goff. He's the main reason why they lost the Super Bowl. I mean, they had one of the better defenses that year when they went to the Super Bowl, and he just shit the bed. Like he's not a good quarterback. I don't know what they were thinking drafting him so fucking high when they did, but it is what it is. Cowboys, I don't know. They always seem to come out and shit the bed week one, so I don't have high expectations. But against the Rams, I think that they could probably pull it off. So I'm going with the Cowboys 24-17. Final answer.
Final answer. All right. Next team is the Pittsburgh Steelers and the New York Giants. This is the Monday games. Pittsburgh, really, Big Ben's back. Is he going to be that much of a – is he going to be that much level up compared to Rudolph, who ended up taking over from last year, and Hodges and all those guys? Yes, because those guys were fucking scrubs. Ben Roethlisberger, I think, will be a mediocre quarterback at best this season. He'll look for him slinging some picks. Juju Smith-Schuster is still going to prove why I didn't have high expectations for that guy. Because now I've seen some double coverage that you've never seen before. Good guy, though. But just, sometimes you just can be a good guy and not very well on the field. But they do have Deontay Johnson now. I think they have high hopes on him. Connor, what's he going to come back as? I feel like he's going to return to his own form from last season. Look for the offense to be pretty mediocre, but the defense to be pretty solid. So I feel like that's going to win them quite a bit of games where they should have been losing, or if they should lose, because their offense is just going to be kind of shite. Solid defense, though. Now to talk on the fucking Giants. What the fuck did the Giants do this offseason? I don't even know. Barkley's back rehabbed. Probably gonna be the entire fucking offense again. Ingram's back, but he'll be hurt week 2. He's injury prone. The offense will be loaded on Barkley's shoulders. Janet Jones. I think they just rushed him in too much and fucking rushed Manning out in retirement. Granted, Eli was kind of on a serious downslope, but I don't think Daniel Jones was quite the answer, especially as the reach that they did in that draft. Defensively, they fucking suck, I think. really, they had a pretty quiet offseason. I feel like I didn't hear a whole lot about what they did to acquire anybody. Golden Tate kind of dead it out last season. Sterling Shepard, I don't know. But with that being said, I'm gonna have to go ahead and give you my score with the Steelers. Offensively sucks, so it's gonna be a low scoring game. It's gonna be a defensive dominant for the Steelers, and this is going to be a 7-2-3.
Damn, man. That's going to be really bad for a Monday Night Football game if it's a snoozer because they need all the ratings they can get. I have a lot more higher expectations than you do for the Steelers this year. They have definitely one of the better defenses in the AFC, if not for the whole league. But I think, with the Giants' defense as depleted as they are, I think they're going to be able to score on them pretty easily. I think it also had a lot of factor with Juju last year, not having Ben Roethlisberger, and having to get having a third string quarterback throwing you the ball the whole season. I mean, it has a huge factor in rhythm and being in sync with your quarterback. It throws everything off. So you had to learn on the fly how to go with Mason Rudolph and stuff. And Rudolph is definitely not the quarterback for that team. But Big Ben is back. I think he could probably have at least a 300 to 400 yard game this Monday. That's a little far fetched, I know, for a first game back. But he's definitely pushing hard, and they're calling him possibly the comeback player of the year this year so far. That's who the experts are trying to claim that they could possibly be one of the comeback players of the year. Whether that is to be true, we don't know. We'll find out, I guess. But I got this game a lot higher point-wise than you do. I'm going with the Steelers 27-17 for the Giants. So back to you, dipshit. Or sit there and look at your phone.
I like sitting there making you feel awkward, bud.
Well, I can watch you the whole fucking time, dummy. I'm sitting here looking at your phone like a girl waiting for a text message or whatever. Fucking teenagers. No, I'm just sitting here.
It still makes you feel weird, though. Big Ben, I don't know. I mean, I guess I could potentially see. I think the Giants' defense sucks, but they do have some pretty good secondary guys. They have James Bradbury and Jabril Peppers. So I think that's going to cut them less than 300. Is it a possibility? Yes. The rest of the Giants defense fucking sucks. And well, that's my 2 cents. I wanted to add an extra on that game. Yes, low scoring is what I predicted. You just talked about the ratings. They need all the ratings they can get with Monday Night Football, and I think they'll get it with this next game because it's going to be a fucking barn burner. Week 1. We got Tennessee Titans going to Mile High Stadium and taking on the Denver Broncos. With the news that you broke earlier to me, Von Miller is out for the season, potentially. They haven't really said yet, but they have pretty strong inclination that he's going to be done for the season, which sucks because he's a fucking phenomenal athlete. But Bradley Chubb returns full form. They did pick up another guy in the secondary who's pretty good. I liked what they did in the draft. I think they addressed the wide receiver situation pretty good. I think Courtland Sutton has a better sophomore season. The fact that they also picked up Jerry Jeudy, who I have high expectations for, being a solid wide receiver number 2, potentially unseating Sutton for the wide receiver 1. Not this year, maybe it's next season. KJ Hamler also came in. Noah Fant, who we talked about before in our tight end podcast, we believe is going to have a spectacular leap in his second season. We have high hopes for that. If he doesn't, then we're going to shut the fuck up about him. But also the fact that Denver picked up Melvin Gordon in the offseason, who's going to be splitting carries with Philip Lindsay. I mean, Philip Lindsay wasn't doing too bad. Not too shabby for an undrafted guy who was a walk-on. So they have him splitting carries between him and Melvin Gordon most of the time. I feel like some of the time they're going to cycle in Royce Freeman. Drew Lock started pouring it on at the end of the season. I look for him to carry that over this season, and I do have a bold prediction of him being a top 10 fantasy quarterback. And now to touch base on the Titans, which you did earlier with Tannehill. I really kind of agree. I think Tannehill's slightly better than he was when he was in Miami. He's got a better situation. Derrick Henry's fucking king. Come back. I feel like he's going to have another excellent rushing season. If they utilize him in the backfield with pass catching, fucking look out. AJ Brown will have a good second season. I don't think he was that bad last year. He had spurts here and there, but I think he'll have a better second season. So I do look for the Titans to be good. But with that being said, traveling to Mile High, this is going to be proven too much for them to handle. And I got the Broncos winning this one, 26-13.
That's a good one. Yeah, same thing like you said. Going to Mile High, it's really tough on the opposing team that aren't in that atmosphere all year round. So they can't really get their bodies to adjust to that thin air. Derrick Henry, he's gonna probably get gassed early and often in this game because they're gonna try to rely on him way too much to move the ball. But that defense, you really can't. I don't think you can rush as often on that Denver defense. But with Von Miller going down today in practice with a possible ankle injury, that has a huge factor. It's sad to see a player of his caliber go down like that, but like you said, Bradley Chubb's in there, and then you got fucking former Hawkeye, fucking what the hell is his name? I always do this shit. I can't fucking remember all the time. You know what I'm talking about, safety.
Are you talking about their linebacker?
Linebacker, whatever.
Josie Jewell.
Yeah, Josie Jewell. That's what it is. Sorry, been up for a long fucking day. So
Butchering everything. I've been up for a long day. No, you've been fucking dumb all damn day, bud.
Oh, fuck off. You can.
But we won't bring this up in this podcast. But keep butchering the Iowa players, you fucking fuckhead.
There's too many. It's like if it was the Cyclone players, that I could just name 2 because that's all pretty much in the NFL. But there's a shit ton of Hawkeyes in the NFL, so it's hard to remember all their fucking names. That's how much better we are than the fucking cry clowns. So anyways, Tannehill is going to struggle in this game early and often. Broncos are definitely going to be a lot better offensively with both the 1-2 punch with Lindsay and fucking Gordon. Drew Lock, like you said, came into his own last season towards the end of the year. I think the sky's the limit for this team. I think that they're going to probably compete to win the division. I mean, there's a lot of people saying that they have definitely the potential to do it. Will it happen? I doubt it. But I still think this is going to be a really good game. I think it's going to be a closer game than a lot of people are projecting. I'll say 24-21, and I'm going to go with the Broncos winning. Final answer.
Yeah, I think they will be a pretty close battle for winning the AFC West. The Broncos. AJ Bowie is the guy I was thinking of that I couldn't think of that they signed in the offseason. So they're not going to miss Harris a whole lot. If they had both of them, that'd be even better. But Harris is a great corner who went to LA, as I said earlier. Bouye they picked up. But yeah, I mean, like you said, I don't see them unseating the Chiefs just yet. This is really going to be a kind of a determining how well Vic Fangio is as a head coach. Phenomenal defensive coordinator, but as a head coach, this is going to be a tell sign because I feel like they have the right pieces to at least get second and make the playoffs. If not, then I guess I'd have to chalk it up to bad coaching, unless like serious injuries happen to key players, which is a huge potential to happen. But if not, then you get what I mean. You'll figure out a tell.
Honestly, I can see week one. I mean, usually like throughout the preseason, you kind of get your bangs in there, like you're getting to gain form. We're coming right out the gates, full fucking tackle. Like they go half-assed in fucking practice. They may hit hard in practice, but they're going not at full speed that they would in regular games or preseason games. So I think we're going to have a high number of injuries to start out week one because they never got that fucking in-game contact like they would have if they were playing preseason. So I don't want that to happen. I want everyone to try to remain healthy, for fantasy football wise and just for the sport itself, because I mean, what worse way to start out a season to have one of your best fucking players go down with an season-ending injury before the game even fucking starts, like Von Miller, I mean, it's just the luck of the draw, when it comes to fucking injuries in sports. But I pray everybody fucking stays healthy except for Tom Brady. Fucking break his leg. I don't give a fuck. But I just want a lot of the players to stay healthy besides Tom Brady because go fuck yourself.
That's fucked up. That's fucked up. But yeah, that is a pretty fucking good point. They didn't have a whole lot of contact with outside people from different teams. Now they're going full-fledged, full force. Yeah, I think you could possibly see a lot of potential season-ending injuries, big time. That is a high risk. That is very high risk on that. And that's a good point to bring up. But that ends our pick'ems. Go ahead. Like I said at the beginning, fucking leave it down below in the link comments. Not link. I'm a fucking idiot.
Yeah, down in the comments section.
Your pick'ems in the fucking comments. Comment, motherfuckers. Watch it. Comment. I don't know how to fucking keep telling you guys and then you fucking don't do it.
And also share it with your friends if you haven't already.
Share it with your friends. Let's share it through groups. Share it with your fucking grandmother who doesn't give a fuck about.
Let's get this fucking channel to at least 1,000 fucking subscribers. Then our dumbasses can go fucking live and really tear some shit up and probably get a strike. And then
like and share. Comment. Fucking do something, bud. You're just dick fucking around like a bunch of butt fucking fucks. I'll stop down talking to you guys, but
the best way to get fans to join you and watch your channel is to fucking insult the shit out of them before you hog it out. Because go fuck yourself, motherfuckers, all the time is fucking working out great for us.
Yeah. Notice how we have a lot of subscribers at this moment.
28, I think, is what I looked at last
28, yeah. 28, woo! You fucking assholes! Fuck off!
Better than 27.
All right, guys, make your picks, please. Well, I'm not gonna give you guys a time limit. I'm gonna give us a time limit. We're gonna get this shit done by Thursdays. Be cool if you guys did too. Comment right away. Get it out by Thursday game. If not, we'll count that against you and say that you didn't win Thursday because you're just fucking. You're waiting for the game to be over with, you cheating bastards.
Oh, we'll definitely know if you're.
Bullshit.
So, but thank you for watching. I am Bryan, and that is.
And I am Ben. Crazy week 1. We could be dead on accurate or completely fucking wrong. I'm gonna go ahead and say that we're probably both gonna be 500.
Give
It's
or
crazy
take.
week.
Yeah,
Crazy start. All right, fuck faces. We're out of here.
peace.
Go fuck your fucking selves. Peace.
In your ass.
In their fucking ass. What the fuck just happened? Hey. The fuck? Are you there anymore? Hey. Where the fuck you go, bud? Hey. You're gone. You got booted. What the fuck? Son of a goddamn bitch. This is COVID fucking up our podcast. Strikes again.